Spider-Man has evolved from 1977 to the 21st century, gaining thousands of fans worldwide. His great performance was probably because of the costumes and special effects. To briefly introduce, I recently gathered a large amount of film materials and listed them chronologically. In 1977, Spider-Man made his first appearance on the big screen using a hemp rope instead of a launcher, which was quite low-end. The iconic pattern on his body looked very much like an ant, and it didn't show that he was Spider-Man at all. This may also be to protect his identity. Every Spider-Man has to face this problem, so he was called Ant-Man by the audience at that time. This wall-climbing action is truly amazing. These glasses are indescribable. It is said that Stan Lee couldn't accept this at the time. Although the film received many negative reviews, the producers released the second part in 1978. The audience expected a big change, but they were still let down. The fight scene resembled children playing house. Ant-Man quickly opened the launcher and turned the pig web into a hammock as he was falling. Spider-Man himself was unimpressed by the special effect, but despite being somewhat lackluster, it was still quite impressive for a 1970s movie. No director touched the Spider-Man movie series for the next 30 years until Tobey Maguire starred in The Spider-Man in 2002. Peter Parker was re-released in theaters. They improved the climbing scenes and concealed the central launcher of his sleeve. The props were much better than before, at least it could be shown that it was Spider-Silk, and his homemade wrestling suit perfectly matched the comic setting. Director Sam Raimi vividly portrayed the superhero role, whether in battle with the villain or in the act of saving Miss Mary. Spider-Man 1-inch became very popular and a classic, leading everyone to desire a spider bite. In 2004, Sam Raimi made the second Spider-Man film. While the suit remained largely unchanged, other aspects are noteworthy. The special effects have been greatly improved, and the single train scene, for example, can still be considered a masterpiece, even if it is released now. Despite the movie's nearly 20-year history, the image remains impressive, with action being the key focus. No matter how you look at it, it looks very smooth, perfectly reflecting Spider-Man's inherent ability. In 2007, Sam Raimi directed Spider-Man 3, the highest-grossing film in the trilogy, despite receiving the most negative reviews. The high ratings are due to audience anticipation for Venom's debut, but the abundance of villains has led to criticism from both critics and fans. In addition, the death in the book is repeated. Then Spider-Man is infected with venom and coexists with it, which leads to a series of infamous dances. Different concepts and ideas are mixed, leading to the resignation of the screenwriter and director one after the other. Despite criticism of the plot, the black Spider-Man suit is noteworthy. The workmanship is fine, and it's still considered a classic even now. Then time came to 2012 when The Amazing Spider-Man starring Andrew Garfield first appeared on the big screen. Because Spider-Man 3 made so many mistakes, the audience had high hopes for the movie, but it still received a lot of negative reviews. Viewers criticized the costume style, particularly the orange glasses and unusual sneakers, and found the storyline to be similar to the previous generation. You often watch familiar scenes. Perhaps it was a deliberate satire of the previous generation of directors, but for the audience, it was not a new origin at all. The movie still included the traditional scene of the book's death, which raised questions from fans about dissatisfaction. Does the uncle have to die every time Spider-Man is filmed? Sony released The Amazing Spider-Man 2 years later despite the controversial bad reviews. The producers considered the fans' opinions and replaced the orange lenses with large white glasses, as well as changed the unique web pattern. Of course, the shoes must not have been forgotten. So far, the Spider-Man suit in this movie is considered the best looking in all series. Great combat effects and action, but the plot is convoluted. The director appears to have overlooked the mistakes of Spider-Man 3 by including 3 villains in the movie. The movie's biggest mistake was killing Gwen Cassidy and then following up with a bad Spider-Man story, making this movie worse than the previous one. The Spider-Man series had the lowest box office. Marvel and Sony collaborated to shoot the third generation. With Marvel's involvement, Spider-Man made his first appearance in a supporting role in Captain America 3: Civil War. The producers changed Spider-Man's suit's eyes to better reflect Peter Parker's emotions, and many abilities are also provided by this suit. In Civil War, we only saw its basic features, but through Spider-Man Homecoming, we can find that Peter has spent a lot of time learning and using this suit. The chest is no longer a simple logo, but a spider drone. Not only that, there are also multiple web shooting modes on the hands. A paraglider is installed in front of the eyes through comic inspiration. It looks cool, but I think it is still a level lower than Spider-Man. In Avengers 3, the suit from Avengers 4 Inches is made of metal, perfectly displaying Iron Man's armor. It's a parent-child suit with heavy combat equipment, including 4 mechanical spider legs. In killing mode, it pierces the enemy. Then in 2019, Marvel launched the second movie in the series. Before the release of Spider-Man Far From Home, the producers promised that there would be a cooler Spider-Man suit. After the release, we did see the spy suit designed by Agent Nick Fury. Does it look familiar? Yes, it is almost the same as the one in the comics. In the movie, Peter Parker also created a red and black suit. Of course, this is an upgraded version of Tony's technology. In addition to the basic functions, the uniform also has more distinctive web art, Spider-Man's exclusive parachute, and a manual spider silk shooter. After talking about so much, which one do you like best? You can talk about your views in the comment area. Finally, I also hope that you like this video. If you like it, then I know what series to make next. Today's story ends here. Thank you for watching.